Just heard you. We're live.
Well, try out in Sens. It's gonna be like a
Salad shooter.
all right. All right, there you go. Oh, this is so cool.
Well,
Okay,
welcome.
did
Oh, I
you
see it
try
popped
on
up.
the
Oh, huh?
YouTube? Is it working?
Well,
Did you
I
see it?
don't know. I just seen an update on
Oh,
YouTube
really?
that said that we're live. Saw
Let
that.
me see it on let me try it on the phone for a second.
Let me
All
see.
right.
I'll go to YouTube on my TV.
Oh, it
75
is
inch
live. It
TV.
is live.
I think it's a 75. No, this ain't
Fantastic.
75.
All right, it is live.
Oh, look, it says live on the on the camera. Ba ba
All
ba.
right. All right, so let's do this. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a live streaming edition. This is consider this is a podcast live tryout. So, this is me, Tamilian Vineesh, one of the hosts, and this is my partner.
Cdub from the woods with the goods. I'm a little sore, so please forgive me if I doze off. I did not take any pain meds.
Uh, well, speaking about something, so the reason I wanted to do this podcast is because around um, this time last year, some of my videos went viral, came out through Twitter, and whoever did that, kudos to that person. It improved
Cdubs.
me a lot. It made me a better person. Even though all those videos came out without my consent, but whatever it is, the content about those videos were it was like me expressing or my experience when I went to do AEW Dark Elevation, my experience with Nightmare Factory and all that. And I, of course, dragged some of the names and I even shared the experience I had with Phil Brooks. And so I believe this is the right time to talk about at the right moment. So, C-Dub,
Yeah.
there's a lot of talkings going on. Like nobody knows what happened, but I can tell you this. First of all, let me start saying something about Tony Khan here.
Uh-oh.
He came out before he came out. He did a small video in the back where he was talking about his life was in jeopardy. He was attacked. Then he had to make that decision, and he had to let CM Punk go. So, first of all, my question is you terminated or you released somebody immediately and you posted on social media publicly, right?
Yeah, that's what he did.
It was everywhere. That should be enough right there because if WWE released a talent or Impact Wrestling released a talent, they barely put that information on their website in a small, brief column, and that would be it. They wouldn't discuss. They wouldn't talk about it. We never seen Vince McMahon or Triple H going out and talking about a talent that has been released from WWE because so and so and so. We have heard stories about Ultimate Warrior, Vince McMahon, Macho Man Vince McMahon, Hulk Hogan Vince McMahon, Scott
Nailed.
Steiner Triple H, Goldberg Triple H, but not even once they went on their product and talked about their
Oh,
rivalries
you
or the
forgot about
people.
Sin Cara, the original Sin. Well, not the original Camacho. I believe it was Camacho's version of Sin
Yeah,
Cara. He beat him and Sheamus scrapped it or something.
yeah. Plus Alberto Del Rio's slapping a cameraman, whatever it was. But again, they
Oh
never
yeah,
discussed
yeah,
or
yeah.
talked about this on WWE TV or in general. I mean, we all talked about or heard about these on online. The reason
Yeah,
I'm
they let
pointing
the
all
dirt
this
sheets do the talking, and
exactly.
then and that's it. They don't let the dirt sheets dictate whether or not they come out in front of a bunch of people and say something,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
these lawyers or whatever it was he said. Um,
Yeah. And this is where we see the immaturity of Tony Khan. He's why I would say that he's so immature because he already made that video. All right. He's talking about CM Punk. All right, you move on, you start the show. No, it's not enough for him. He had to go out, sit in a chair. I don't know if you ever seen that video.
he went out and sat in a chair,
Yeah,
like in the on the stage, and
in a
where the
collision. Yeah, on
where
AW
the fans
collision.
were there,
Yep, yep.
like
He
a
sat
rocking chair,
like a normal chair. He's just like he
like
sat
at
in
the
the
announce
chair.
table,
No, not an announce table at the entrance. Let me see if I could.
like story time. Like, hey everybody. Well, I know
Let me
out all the
see.
shows he would come out during commercial breaks and be like, "Welcome
Yeah,
to blah blah blah. Please stay after so and so because there'll be more wrestling." And or
all
something
right,
like
there
that.
you go. Let me see if I can get it right here.
Get it right, get it
Okay.
tight. Hey, my thing
All
is
right.
this guy I know he brought up a decent point. He said that if you were inferior life from someone, wouldn't you have that person taken away right then and there and not let them go on like to perform in a show if you was in fear of your life? Wouldn't you have them like put somewhere arrested unless it was didn't want an overseas incident to occur to where Phil Brooks would be stuck in London due to
All right.
well
I mean,
threatening
I
him.
understand where you're coming from, so I'm gonna share this video. All right. Can you see the screen, YouTube screen, or no?
Oh yeah, it's very tiny man sitting on.
Let me see if I can.
Looks like he's sitting on
Uh,
something.
Possibly getting sued by Ring of Honor, which I now own.
all right.
Honestly.
I I came here to talk to you from the bottom of my heart because today I had to do one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, and sitting here right now is I'm sure everyone knows at this point what I'm
Mixed
going to say,
reaction.
but I think it's important that I come out here and talk to
So
you about it before.
I haven't watched any of the pay-per-view that was
All right.
tonight
Anyway,
And
or
all
seen
throughout
anything.
this weekend because I really respect all.
all right. So anyway, when you go to YouTube, you can find that video where. All right. So this is. I understand where you're coming from, Cdub. All right. So you already released the termination letter or whatever online through the website, through the social media, dirt sheet, all these vlogs, blogs, everything. Number one. Number two, you had that video, high definition quality movie style video in the back, and you presented in front of the audience, okay, this is why I had to do what I had to do. All right. He could have stopped there. No, then plus again, he had to go out, sit in a chair, and again, he had to explain to the fans what happened, why he did what he did. So again, no matter whatever it is, the decision already made. And again, him just being immature, going out and doing all this, it's just kind of like, how do I say? You're literally pouring more mud on your own production. And you saw the mixed reaction of the fans. All right, you had something, move on. Exactly what happened in 2014. We all remember when Phil walked away on WWE for 6 months. wherever they go, the fans will chant CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. And I believe it was one of those Raws. Stephanie McMahon said something, hey, uh, that chat didn't even, I think she said that chat lasted longer than his UFC fight. That's, yeah, that's Stephanie being awesome. And that mind, like she used that momentum, and that's the experience. They know it's all business. But again, Tony Khan doing that, so he released the termination later on social media. He made the video package in the locker room in the back. Then he had to go out, sit in a chair, try to make him look himself like the innocent guy. Now, back to your point. So you were saying, so what do you, okay, let me ask you, what's your take? What do you think? What is your opinion?
My opinion, I mean, you got these young cats. They don't they don't respect like anything from any legends, like any guys in the business. And if you're asked or told to do something or whatever, unless Tony Khan himself said, you know what, forget whatever so and so said, use use real glass if you want to. You know, who knows if he said that or not? Because if they were at odds for real already before all this happened, and Jack went to Tony and said, "Hey, I'm going to use glass. I was told not to, but are you all right with it?" Because I mean, at the end of the day, Tony's boss, you know. But also, it's a sign of disrespect if you're already told not to do something from someone, regardless of you respect them or not. You got something going on their show, I guess. He didn't want you to get hurt. I don't know Phil on a personal level. I know your experiences with him versus somebody else's is different. Not everybody, is messed up how he was and what he did. When you rewind it all the way back to Hulk Hogan did the same thing to him and he was salty about that, but then he turns around and does it to somebody else, but I guess he felt that, hey, even that's Hulk Hogan, he should at least shake my hand or say something to me because I've been around, I'm known, he should have. So maybe CM Punk was like, looked at you and said, well, I haven't seen you. Who are you? Or whatever. But still, that's that's not cool. It's at the end of the day, regardless how famous you are, at the end of the day, you're a human being, you know? And I'm a firm believer in you get what you give. If you're given respect, you should give it back. If you want respect and someone's giving it to you, you should give it back. If you want something, if like say if he's wanting to respect and he's not willing to give it to whoever he crossed paths with, regardless of what walk of life they're in or whatever, stuff will come back and bite him in the ass. Now, my thing is, if he was already at one point wanting out and he did the stuff that happened before, still don't know if things went down the way it did or not. All we got's dirt sheet and hearsay stuff. No video, nothing, whatever. But if he was wanting out and did a certain thing and it didn't work then, and he saw opportunity to do it again, did CM Punk do it on purpose because he knew if he did this, chances are it would be the end, and he can get out of this contract and go because he had been planting egg. Like when everything went down the last time, what did he do? He
He went
popped
to
up,
WWE Raw on
yes,
Chicago. He
and was
showed up,
trying to talk
get a
to these
leverage.
people.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
then this is the
so
thing. A lot of social media did not know that he was asked to leave. He was escorted with the security guys. I mean, that's what I
but,
heard.
For
But
fear
then
of
again,
tampering, probably for fear
yeah,
of tampering. Because
yeah,
even so, hey, let it be known we told you to leave, but you have my phone number.
yeah, exactly. But I think he was using that situation to um, get something more out of Tony Khan. Maybe that's why when Tony heard that, then he kind of like, okay, let me give him more money, bring him back, make an arrangement. Let's do a compromise thing. But here again, my question is, I'm not forgetting or I'm not distracting from the events. Mike, I want to know what's your take on Tony Khan, the way he handled the whole situation. Do you think it looks very professional, or do you feel like it's very immature doing all this back and forth? What do you think?
I mean, I could see why he would have done it so because of how short notice it was with the Chicago fans had spent all their money in hopes that hey, CM Punk's gonna be there. So hey, I'm sorry, Chicago fans, da da da, don't ask for a refund or this or that, this, or whatever. But could they have waited till after this? Yeah, I think they could have, but they probably couldn't because even if they would have tried to wait, who's to say CM Punk said, "Hey, y'all can wait if y'all want to," and y'all could say, "Hey, the show can go on. You finish these two dates, and then go from there." Who's to say CM Punk said, "I'm not going to do it"? So if he was to say that, then that would have pushed her. But this is going to be one of those things. 5, 6, 10 years from now, the the whole truth will come out finally, and not just one sided.
Yeah, I
Or
mean, uh, what I this is my opinion. I kind of felt like Tony Khan was very mature the way he handled the whole situation. Why? Because again, I'm going back and saying the same thing. Um, Sharing that termination letter online was totally enough, and that should be
yeah,
the end. All right,
yeah,
you cut that
and it was
video, you
pretty
made that
wordy.
video in the backstage, pretty
Yeah,
much, and because you made that video in the backstage, all right, that should be the end of it. You had no reason to go out and make these people believe that he did nothing wrong. That's where he made a big mistake because it's the same thing. When you give too much attention on one person, obviously people will start thinking, "Oh, then we I think we should back him up." I'm talking about Phil. Now, from my experience, I predicted this almost 2 years ago. It's very disorganized, and for me, I'm personally feel like AEW is not a professional company. I don't see it as a professional wrestling company. I totally 100% agree with Jim Cornette, and I completely agree with Eric Bischoff what he said. It's just a hobby for Tony Khan because look at it. Tony hired Jerry Lynn, a legend Jerry Lynn, Double A, Arn Anderson, Dean Malenko, all these legends, Jake the Snake Roberts. He hired more than 300 wrestlers, employees, and who books everything? Tony Khan books everything. Who produce everything? Tony Khan produce everything. Like Eric Bischoff said, you can watch 100,000 videos of open heart surgery. You can be a fan of open heart surgery, but that does not make you as a doctor who can do an open heart surgery. You grew up watching wrestling, fantastic. You haven't taken a bump in the ring. You haven't run the ropes in your freaking life, and you think that you can do this better. You are the part of the problem. All he had to do was hire proper people and put them on the charge instead of hiring Chris Jericho, CM Punk, and all these John Moxley, all these bigger guys, bigger name from the other organization, and giving them creative control and hanging around with them, drinking and talking and sharing all these stories. He just want to be a part of the boys. That's what happens when you do that. And I believe not only him, the people who are associated with him made this whole scenario in a bad way. And I completely 100% agree on here. When I went to do this from referee Aubrey Edwards, she was a total bitch to indie wrestlers who comes there. She didn't care. She thinks that she is more worth. She's more talented. She's more popular than any other independent professional wrestlers. That is wrong. From Aubrey Edwards to anyone, let's say Jungle Boy, Orange Cassidy, MJF, Billy Gunn's sons, and all the people that I named, I've seen it. I experienced it. Why in the world they cannot respect um legends? And I don't know who it was, but there was a news came out when Jake the Snake Roberts tried to give an advice to a young talent. That young talent told Jake the Snake Roberts that I don't need any advice. I know exactly what I'm doing. Disrespected a Hall of Famer. That is wrong. And for all elite wrestling, all they care about a lot of flips and flops and spot fest. And again, they have the right people, but they're not in charge. That's what I believe. And as
Saw
far as
your saw Vince Russo said made a statement and pretty much said he don't see why. Well, it's more or less because of health issues. I believe if Jim Ross was in younger, like 5, 10 years younger, and his health was good, he pretty much said that Jim Ross would be someone that should be, because he's been in that role in the past as being in control or being someone with some power. But
I mean,
yeah,
he was one of those talented talent relations for WWE, I believe. But again, and like I said, all these people are working for AEW because Tony Khan is a big mark, big fan, and he have a lot of money. That's the only reason he was working for it. And apart from that, I apologize
you
for
know,
this.
I like the fact that AEW exists to give these legends jobs, but if some of them are all right with that, that's fine. It gives them something to do and stuff. But to give it to them, then just to give them something to do, but not value their opinion if they're trying to give it, you know.
And again, you have positions for all these talents, EVPs, presidents, vice presidents of talent relations, and giving Tony Schiavone something else. I think he's what talent advisor, whatever it is. All these things are like just for a show off. That's what I believe, and I don't want to personally attack anyone, but I just say Mr. X. Before AEW, nobody heard about Mr. X. He was he been an enhancement talent for WWE, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and Mr. X. After AEW started, Mr. X became a part of the company. Then Mr. X uh, got more TV time because Mr. X is friends with Mr. Y, and Mr. Y is very close friends with Tony Khan. So Mr. X got a more opportunities, more chance. Now Mr. X have that control, and Mr. Y is already gone from AEW. Mr. Y is no longer in there, and Mr. X is a part of that company, and he controls who never draw a dime in this business. I'm not afraid to say his name, but I don't want to give him that spotlight on our podcasts. We have valuable time. That's why I say Mr. X. But I will say who Mr. Y was. That's Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is in WWE now. But again, I think one of those podcasts Cody did, he predicted this too. The problem is you have 300 workers, and half of them are not on television, and they don't like each other. They all have separate locker rooms. They all gathered like a different gangs. And how are you going to run it? Everybody should follow some law or something. why WWF Attitude was popular, why they
Yeah,
became the winner, because
yeah,
Vince was the
Vince,
guy.
yeah, Vince pretty much let them police each other because he
Mhm.
trusted the guys that he's had there for so long to handle
Yeah,
things. And if it got too far up the chain to where it was a really an issue, it wasn't an issue that much longer because he don't play around. He don't.
exactly.
And
From as far I know, Tony, recently we talked about AW Dark and Dark Elevation. They canceled that show and they ended up doing Ring of Honor. One of my buddy was telling me, "Oh, Ring of Honor, I got a chance." It's not a real Ring of Honor. The real Ring of Honor is dead. It
so
was
it's like
purchased, bought
if
out.
you think about it, it's almost the equivalent of when WWE bought the rights to ECW and all that
And WCW.
and
Yeah.
brought them back to television, you know. But I will give you this, even though the ECW wasn't the same as the original ECW, it was watchable. It was on TV, and for a little bit there, it after they got past the initial bringing freaks or monsters to the screen,
Yeah, I remember.
once they got past that, it was actually I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that little run. I wish it could have lasted longer, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed. s- I I
But remember,
enjoyed
it was
seeing
too
CM
much
Punk on
wrestling.
ECW. CM
But
Punk on ECW was pretty
yeah,
good. You know.
yeah. Remember, but it was too much wrestling on TV at that time. You had Monday Night Raw, you had SmackDown, you had Saturday nights, and then you have ECW, then you have pay per view sometimes, and it
Yeah.
was too much wrestling. And again, too many talents now not really getting utilized, and that's why people call Vince McMahon as the genius because he knew exactly what to do with wrestlers, with workers. And here you are, you see Miro for 2 weeks and he disappears for 5 months. Then you see Lance Archer for a whole year, then he disappears. And then, well, what's the other guy? Wardlow. Again, why
Thank.
you,
Yeah.
if you don't know what to do with this, again, that's another thing. From what I know, they do not have writers in AEW. Again, you're giving creative control to guys like MJF, who's so young and immature, and obviously you give him Mike, and he go out there say whatever he wants, and he get that huge pop. People think that he's best on the mic. So whenever you give an opportunity to someone and say, just say, oh hey, go out there and entertain the fans, and you're not on PG-13, you just throw a lot of curse words out there, and you get a huge pop and huge reaction. Remember ECW back in the 90s? It's the same thing. Can he cut a promo without a curse words, without, uh, you know, um,
It recently
calling
has. He ain't
anyone's
really
name?
been cussing too much lately.
Well, yeah, like I said, that's how you can improve. I'm glad I heard that. Good. But coming back to CM Punk situation
I like
now,
potty mouths.
huh?
I said I like potty mouths.
Okay, let me start with 2014. The guy left the business. He insulted WWE. And like I said, Kurt Angle said on his interview, he was in a bad spot. So he asked for a release, but he fulfilled all of his commitments. Then he went to TNA in 2006. Phil could have done the same thing. Fulfill your commitment. When you signed a contract, it doesn't matter whatever you do, even if you work for McDonald's, if you work for FedEx, it's the same thing. When you work, if you want to quit, give it 2 weeks of notice, you quit.
Well, I thought um there was something going on, and he was what getting married or engaged or something, and they fired him.
It all happened after he left. But my point is, I'll make. I'm not gonna go for a large, big story, but I'll make it short and simple. With this, he quit. He left the business. He told the entire world that he's done with pro wrestling. Then he went to UFC. He couldn't hang with the real fighters in there. It didn't work. It backfired. And all right, what happened? He finally got an opportunity to make that big money out of AEW, which he did. All he had to do, take the money, be quiet, do his job. But then the whole press conference happened, and that's not the way you represent a company. Eating a pickle and chocolates or brownies, whatever, and it was insulting everybody. If you have a problem in a company, you should sit in an office and talk about it. You don't go out in public and embarrass the company. And then, okay, after that, he bring Bret the Hitman Hart into the picture. Now that's what something that I don't like. You started doing Bret Hart's moves. You always mention his name. You always represent his whatever anything that associated with Bret the Hitman Hart, so that he could get that uh, sympathy from fans. So he always talk about Bret Hart all the time. But when you go back and watch his WWE matches, he don't really do a lot of Bret Hart moves. But he started doing it. He started choreographing a lot of matches in AEW with Bret the Hitman Hart's moves. That's something like, why would you use a legend for your gain? Obviously, the whole incident happened. Then he did that press conference. All right, whatever it is, lawsuits, I don't know anything about it. And like Eric Bischoff said, I'm just going with what Eric said in that interview. Eric said this: settled. Tony should have settled everything right there. He shouldn't have bring back CM Punk. Even CM Punk said in a press conference that AEW Collision is for another purpose, a group of another wrestlers, so he can use all the wrestlers and put them all the shows. Out of 300 plus wrestlers, he have wrestlers working in Ring of Honor. He have wrestlers working in Dynamite, Rampage. I mean, both happens in the same stadium, right? Then you have Collision, so he
Yeah,
can use
I think
some
when they
other
started,
wrestlers in,
yeah,
yeah,
doing Rampage and Collision
in
same,
the same night.
and
So
then
I think
no, wait, uh, what is it? What comes on Wednesday? Dynamite and Collision same night, and then ROH and Rampage. Uh,
Oh, I did not know that. I thought that
I
Rampage
think,
and
yeah, because like when they were in Atlanta, they did Dynamite and Collision,
oh, I did not
and
know that.
then so believe I could be wrong, but maybe it rotates. But then for Ring of Honor, because they show on Thursdays or whatever, that the same night they do that, they probably also do Rampage.
So once again, then my point is, you have all these shows so that he could accommodate all these wrestlers. Now he ended up bringing back CM Punk. A lot of people have, not like different opinion about that, and of course, Tony was still thinking he could draw more money, he could sell more T-shirts, make profit out of it. But again, we saw a lot of stadiums were not really full,
So
and again,
is
once
it
again, and I'm coming to that point. This is where the whole match happened, Wembley Stadium, a tribute to John Cena, Hulk Hogan, leg drop, and everything was fantastic, great, awesome. Why would you go and talk to Jungle Boy about their match unless you are assigned to do it? As for I know, as for you know, the entire world know, CM Punk does not have any obligation than a wrestler. He's not a president. He's not a booker. Nothing. Let them use whatever the freaking stuff they want. Real glass, fake glass, uh, Tantex, whatever, sword, knife, whatever they want to use it. And from what I heard, someone told me like Jim Ross approached CM Punk and asked CM Punk to talk to Jungle Boy. And again, if Jim Ross feels something like that, that's his job, and why he didn't jeopardize his position. Then whatever the fight happened, and again, this is another part, Cdub. Backstage fight happened. Then Tony said he feared about his life. My question is, you own multi-million-dollar companies at least in 3, 4 countries. You own Jacksonville Jaguars, you own soccer clubs, you own and your family own multi-million businesses. Why would you jeopardize your own life in a situation like that? You've been running businesses, correct? Am I wrong?
Miss,
Don't you?
you saying he shouldn't be in gorilla position?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Again, do you think Vince would do it? No.
I mean, Vince has always been in gorilla position, but that stuff wouldn't happen in his company.
But exactly, because like let's say if anyone have a problem, Vince will be like, "Hey Brock, come down here."
Yeah,
I mean, AEW have a lot of Brock listeners. Lance Archer, Wardlow, Big Show, Paul White, even have his own private securities. Why would you, as a 5'5" guy, less than 200 pounds, go and get involved, get in between a fight? And again, the question I'm going to ask: who's to blame here in this spot, in this situation?
mm,
What do you think? Who, if again, wrestling fans have different opinion on things. People, even I believe Seth Rollins said one time when one guy asked him, "What do you think about CM Punk coming back to WWE?" Seth Rollins said, "Stay wherever you are.
yeah, I saw that
He's a
video.
cancer. He's a cancer." That's what Seth Rollins said. He publicly said that, even though when he showed up in Chicago, and a lot of people didn't like him.
Hmm.
Ryan Nemeth. I wanted to finish saying about Ryan too. Ryan, I consider him as a somebody that I know. He's a good person. He's one of the kindest, nicest dude. We talk sometimes. He's one of the coolest guy ever. And he was the only guy at the AW Dark elevation or in all those tapings. I was so cool, comfortable. The dude is very, very humble, kind, down to the earth. And again, why in the world you go and pick a fight with someone like him? I heard that's another incident that happened. He's somebody sit in the corner. He doesn't bother anybody. I know Ryan. He doesn't talk crap about anybody. He don't bother anyone. But again, you just literally poking a husky or labrador and you finally took the bite. But again, for me, I tell you this, my personal experience. I spoke to Kenny Omega. I spoke to Young Guns. Whether you believe it or not, Cdub, they were nice to me. I spoke to Hangman Adam Page. He was nice to me. Cole Cabana. He was nice to me. Ryan Nemeth was nice to me. Darby Allen, nice to me. MJF, no. Orange Cassidy, no. I don't know the names, but Billy Gunn's sons, not really. But again, I don't want to pull a lot of names here, but this is gonna, the whole incident is gonna affect wrestling, especially AEW. That's for sure.
Hey, is it true? I haven't looked, but I saw a post say that CM Punk's merchandise is still on AEW's website. If you're fired, wouldn't they pull his merchandise?
Well, it's
CM Punk owns his name. They don't own his name.
um probably, but again, like I said, no, I don't know about the contract, and I believe AEW don't have the merch. I think it's Pro Wrestling Tees. I believe if it's Pro Wrestling Tees, obviously he owns it. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he's selling more T-shirts right now than ever
Yeah.
because
You
you
say so. You say what? So CM Punk owns Pro Wrestling Tees, or he just owns what's on Pro Wrestling
I
Tees?
believe he owns what is on Pro Wrestling Tees. I don't think he owns Pro Wrestling Tees. Maybe I don't know, but
Shoot, he should have bought. He should have came in there, bought that, and then pulled all AEW's merchandise. Nah, it's mess.
I
Like,
tell you this, you might be you might be shocked with this. I 100% say it was not his fault. He shouldn't be getting fired at all. Period. It was one of those situations. They should have talked in the back.
should have been in house. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, in
and
house.
yeah, I strongly believe that. Again, I don't know. I wasn't there, but I would say I would blame Tony Khan for all this. No one
Do you
else.
think? Do you think
I would
there's?
never blame CM Punk.
Do you think there's any chance that if he's legit fired, that he shows up in Chicago at Survivor Series?
Um, I don't believe so. Um, because too much bad blood with Punk and WWE, and it's not just WWE anymore because it's what is it called, Endeavor. It's under
Yeah.
Endeavor, and I don't know who's in charge. And I believe at the end of the day, Vince McMahon, he's the decision maker. Um, I believe he will do good. Whatever he do, it will do good for the business. It's not just a catchphrase. But right now, um, CM Punk is not gonna be a draw. I can tell you that. Um, like I said, I'm nobody, but I can say um, he's not in the best spot. Instead of AEW bringing CM Punk, or even after that conference, WWE could have hired him, right? But this is like Tony Khan came out and spoke publicly about CM Punk 3 times on TV. I believe AEW and WWE have some common bond, somewhat understanding is there still. I believe so because when William Regal's contract was almost expired, Tony let him go so he could go back to WWE and work for them. And I kind of believe that they have a somewhat good understanding and good relationship. But
I don't know about that. They they pulled Jacksonville Jaguars replica belt from WWEshop.com and Fanatics. They didn't want WWE selling Jacksonville Jaguars merch on their website.
well, again, it's just a business corporate decision. Obviously, it could be
You know what?
I'm talking about the talent's perspective, not the business. Like
Diamond Sheik's gonna make that Jacksonville Jaguars belt.
but again, for your question, I don't think it would be a right decision to bring him into WWE after everything he said. Even they tried. I think back in
Well,
2020.
you know what, Vineesh? I know you really, really have disdain in your heart and hatred for Phil, and you want to buy this unboxed fig of CM Punk, circa 2010, I believe. No,
WWE.
2013. When he was the Undertaker.
Nice.
And you want to buy it so you can unbox it and you can choke him.
Listen, man. I there's only a few people that I hate in this business, and he's not somebody that I hate.
I know.
If you ask me about QT Marshall, yeah, maybe. If you ask me about anyone else, I don't know. But he's the only name that I could think about, come in my mind. But again, like I said, hey, whatever it is, I really hope he will stay away from wrestling at least right now.
You know,
I don't
there's
know.
money in this match that needs to be booked right now.
Roman Reigns
The
versus
guy
Punk.
you, the guy you just named versus you in AAA for his belt that he has.
Who? Oh, QT Marshall.
All your
Oh
boys
man,
up across the
I
border.
would
Call
rather wrestle.
Conan. Call
I would
Conan right now.
I would rather
Viva
call
la raza.
Santino Morella. I would wrestle with Santino than him, as I could at least.
Santino.
Yeah, I could at least I
Santino's a
could.
badass. He'll whoop you. He might. Y'all might turn that into a shoot.
Well, at least I could learn something from Santino
Yeah.
about
It's
Cobra. But
the slap versus the snake.
yeah, I know, right? Power slab with the snake. Yeah. But that's my take. I shared my opinion about the whole situation, and before I end, when I expressed my opinion last year, the entire internet world came after me. They were personally
I had to
messaging
go
me,
in
harassing
hiding.
me.
I had to go in hiding just mere being associated with you, and I might have to do it again. I might get canceled. You know that I got almost. I'm in fear of being canceled before I'm anything, because you, my man, you are so controversial, and all
Thank
these
you, thank you.
guys, they take what you say and they leak it on the interwebs. We're probably
Hey,
getting
hey,
leaked
hey,
right now. They're
at
probably
least,
editing it up. They're editing and chopping up the vids as we speak, and we're on. Well, you can't say on Twitter. We're on the X right now, or whatever it is.
really?
I don't know. Nah, man, I don't know.
I was like, I'm going. That would be awesome. But I would say this. Um, when I shared my experience and everything, a lot of people came after me, and but whatever it is, man, I'm a man, and social media world is not really real. It's just a platform you share
It's
whatever.
real. No.
As a human being, I've experienced a lot of crap in my life. I've been through a lot. I was homeless at one point of time. I learned so much from my mistakes. The one thing that I never did was I never been a one of those guy, the fake guy. I always been straightforward. And if I want to say something to somebody, I would say straight to their face. On social media, I know a lot of people like block me and they talk crap about me. I'm not that person. And again, here I am in 2023, and and again, man, it's sad that whatever I predicted in 2022 happened. But I leave this with this note. Um, at the end of the day, be nice to people, be respectful. There's this world is for everybody. You know, there are times you get an opportunity to speak. There are times you shouldn't open your mouth. But wrestling, it's a showman's business. Where grown men and grown women and transgenders act like kids over something, um, over a
Yeah,
storytelling.
yeah. Too many people feel entitled to something they haven't yet earned yet.
Yeah, and plus I go back. I like to say one more thing from our last podcast. Rocky said the best. There's no such a thing anymore called paying dues. You don't see it anymore. You don't see people being paying respect, being respectful. None of that thing. Again, I being a promoter. I've been running shows from February 18th earlier this year, and our next show is coming up on September 16th as well. And I have booked some of the students from that school that Cody Rhodes and QT owns. But again, um, I
I don't
something
think
I missed.
I don't.
I,
I don't think all the students that come
No,
from
no,
there
they're nice
are like
people
that.
out there, man. Nice
Yeah.
kids out there. Like, see, I think 2 years ago, I
I
got a
know
chance
I
to.
know a few of
No,
them.
no, no. Well, I have to mention this too. I'm glad you brought this one up because 2 or 3 years ago, me and a couple of buddies, a couple of Nightmare Factory students, we went on the road. We got a chance to work for Ricky Morton's SOM 505. We got a chance to go to Ohio. We got a chance to wrestle in Extreme Valley Wrestling, and there are a lot of good guys out there. Trust me, and they're nice people. They just want to get improving, get better. But I'm talking about the people that I booked for my promotion, and I don't know what it is. And like I said, it's just bad. And I don't know how you're gonna get something. Like, if you want to make this as a career, then you gotta act like a professional. You cannot really like, oh, I paid this much money. I'm coming from this school, and I'm entitled. If that's the mindset you're gonna have, you're not going anywhere.
Would you think that
But
someone would?
anyway, that's on me.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. I was gonna say, would you think that someone would be so petty to hold a grudge to the point to where um they know about your promotion and they are telling people, yeah, it's okay if he reaches out to you to take a booking, but I want you to act like an ass and and like try to sabotage you. Do you
Well,
think
that's
they would go? Do you think they would go as far as to do that, or you don't, or you don't want to give them a chance to do that? So by not going that route, you can avoid it altogether.
at this moment I made a decision. Like, in fact, not just me, my partners and my friends who was involved in this promotion, we decided not to bring any Nightmare Factory guys. But again, what we see, what we'll trust, and what we believe. But it's not going to be forever, but it's just this for this moment. But moving forward, if anybody want to work, if your goal is to wrestle, perform, and learn, yeah, we have a spot for you. But we're not going to book you if you're going to show up so late, if you don't want to help set up the ring, tear down the ring, and if you want to leave right after your match. Hey, I've been running it from February, and if I let these people ran over me like this, then that's on me, not on them. That's on me. I should have learned by this time now. And again, like I said, um it, right now we decided not to do anything. We decided not to bring any Nightmare Factory students at this time, but it might change. Again, depends on how you carry yourself, how professional you are. It might can change later, but at this moment now, not really. So anything you'd like to add, sir?
Oh, I believe that's all she wrote, my guy. I'm a little think we covered a good bit. 53 minutes worth of podcasting.
Shenanigans.
Uh,
I know this is a live stream. I always wanted to do this and see if we get any positive, negative feedback. And man, it's great because this is like season 2, episode 4, and we have done more than 25, I believe, 25 episodes, more than that. And we've been running from 2022 October, I believe.
my boy. Well,
Almost, it's gonna be,
I
yeah, it's
want
gonna
to
be almost.
know where my stimulus check is.
It's coming, pal. It's coming. All right, so I gotta go back and watch WWE Payback. I haven't got a chance to watch it. I heard it was so good. Don't say anything, and let me go
Hey,
and watch.
I won't be a jackass.
Thank
Sticker
you,
Mule. Get your stickers from Sticker Mule.
Cdub. Thank you so much for doing the Cdub in such a short notice.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is
Hey,
Shoot and Rest.
I only did it because the white vans don't come out at night, or do they? White vans.
All right. Thank you so much, Cdub. Thank you so much, listeners and viewers. This is a live
Yeah,
Shoot and Stiff
I
Wrestling
gotta plug this.
podcast.
For y'all people that need a good night's sleep, hit me up. I don't only just sell energy drinks. I also have hyper sleep. It works very good. It has the melatonin in it. I take this little bad boy, I put it in a cup, add some milk and a little chocolate syrup, and I drink it up and go night night.
That sounds so good. If you don't
Yeah.
dig it, then get a raise energy sleep thing.
Yeah, he's up
All right.
there. He's out there. Macho
All
Man up
right.
there.
There you go, macho man. All right.
Later.